Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a lift, a Scrap Squad lift. That's one of my very favorite layouts that they've put out. They're a wonderful group. If you haven't checked them out, look for Scrap Squad on Facebook, and every Friday they put out a new layout for you to lift, and they're all different. There are some very talented ladies who will give their examples for you to be inspired by, and everyone who participates just does a wonderful job, and they're all talented, and I'm very happy to be part of that group, and I actually look forward to every Friday. I'm a week late on this one. This one came out, I'm filming this on Friday, the 22nd, and this came out a week ago, and I just absolutely love it. I love everything about it. And this is Rebecca Meadows, who's one of the team members at Scrap Squad. This is her a version of the layout, and I like elements from both of them, so I've printed them both on this paper, and I'm going to do my layout kind of with them. What I like about this one actually are the kind of the pastel colors, and one of these days I'll do that, but pastel's not necessarily my thing most of the time. In this case, there's some mixed media sprinkles here to kind of match the colors in the papers, and I'm using a paper that has a kind of a pre-done mixed media on it, so I won't be doing that. But I really like that Rebecca has sprinkled a few sequins in a couple places, here, and here. And so I've got some sequins that I might try. I like the ampersand in both of those, and I've got an ampersand I'm going to try to use. I like that Rebecca has stamped her flowers on the teal paper. I'm actually fussy cutting mine out of some patterns. So this is just a wonderful layout, and I've actually kind of delayed all week because I wasn't sure I could do it justice. So here I am. I'm using my November Mind the Scrap kit, which and primarily I've got a 12 by 12 Vicki Boutin paper for the background, and it is kind of wonky ledger paper with a lot of mixed media behind it. And then I've chosen my my papers and cut them all out of this tablet that came in the kits. It's the Wildflower and Honey 6x8 tablet, and you can kind of see my scraps there because I have saved everything from there. And I've got some embellishments from this Heidi Swap collection that were also in the kits. I plan to use a label and a word strip from this, from the same Heidi Swap collection. And my title is going to come from this, which is the thicker set of phrases from the Wildflower and Honey collection. And I'm debating what from this I want to use it all, but these are some ephemera embellishments from the Wildflower and Honey collection. Okay, and here, this bowl contains the stuff that was kind of my primary stuff I had picked that I really wanted to use. So let me first, I'm going to do kind of a technique-y thing right now. You'll notice in both of these there's a striped element and then a scalloped element. And I like wonky scallops, so I really love this Vicki Boutin, or not Vicki Boutin, Amy Tangerine scallop pattern from many collections ago. And what I did, I decided to fussy cut the scallops out, and I've done things like that before, but I didn't want to use, and so I did that, laying it over. I actually cut around this, and after washi taping it to the Vicki Boutin paper I wanted to use. This wasn't the right color for my layout, so I'll save that and it'll be available for another one of these days. And this is the one that I will use, and I'll just kind of show you what I did. I kind of took this, and what I like about these is they're not perfect, and so when you're cutting them, you don't have to have an exact perfect border around, and your scallops underneath will come out as though you had a die cutter or a punch that did kind of an interesting pattern, and then you can kind of finish it off like that. So here's the fussy cut one that I can use for something else, and here's another one in the same color scheme that I used here. So that was kind of cool. I had never done anything like that before, so I kind of enjoyed doing that. So I put that off to the side. I have, as you can see, the photo that I'm using is this one of Ava and me at a breakfast restaurant one random Sunday. And she was just getting goofy, and her dad had his camera out, which he always does. And so I picked that photo and backed it with the teal color in that Wildflower and Honey. And when I cut the teal, I noticed the floral pattern on the back were the same flowers, and they're done in red on this background. The flowers are cream, but the outlines are red, and this is all done on this black background. So that's what I've fussy cut out for embellishing this. So that photo, what I did here, I cut 4 4x4 squares, and I distressed the edges with my Tim Holtz distressing tool. And I'm just to kind of show you, I've put foam on the back of these, and I've kind of eyeballed them about evenly spaced. And right now on camera, I'm going to do the scariest thing I've ever done on camera, and that's to do the, if you'll notice on the original, there is doodling around the squares. And that's one of the elements of the this layout that I loved, and the fact that the flowers are kind of outline type flowers that also look doodled. So that kind of impressed me. So I'm lucky that I have something of a grid pattern on the background, so it'll kind of guide my lines, but let's see how this works out. Just gonna do that, and I'm not worrying about whether the lines are straight. I do want them to kind of crisscross at the end. So I need to remember to kind of extend it out a bit, and then do this. Okay. That one is done. I'm thinking that the faster I draw the lines, the straighter they're likely to be. I'm not doing very well on the extending to make that cross. And that's okay, because it's not meant to be perfect, which is why they call it doodling instead of drawing. Okay. And so you know me, I like things that even if they go wrong, I can say, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that is kind of my catchphrase. Let's go here. Sorry for making you suffer through that, but I like the way it turned out. Okay, I could go any kind of way with this. I did the two colorful, the multicolor squares opposite each other at an angle, and then the more solid colors. I could go this way or this. I've chosen this way, this orientation, because the photo is going to go here. It's going to cover up part of these. There will be some title work, and I just like the remaining papers that will show. So underneath the photo will be this dark stripe. What I did, because it's only a 6x8, I cut this strip and then I cut another to go under the photo. I think I'm going to glue it down. I don't want it to go all the way to the end of the page, and I do want it to have a solid foundation underneath. I kind of would like that one out about that much. So, and then the photo will go there. I think that's what I'm going to do. It wasn't long enough. I thought it would be if I did it this way. I wanted to show on both sides of the photo, and I didn't think that was long enough. So I'm doing it, sticking it out as far as I want it to go on the one side. I'll put some, so everything will be kind of gauged by that. I want a little bit of the distressed edge showing there, and I'll decide whether this bothers me later. If it does, I'll stick a pop dot under it or something. And then let me do this. And I kind of want to try this out here. I want it hanging off a bit, so that's good. Okay, now I'm going to put that on and have it at a nice angle there, and I'll start filling in with other embellishments. I want this to kind of overlap but not extend as far as the striped one. So what I'm going to do is put a narrow bead of and I've distressed both those stripes and the scallops here so that it kind of goes with the distressed kind of messy look of the rest of the layout. So I like that kind of overlapping, and I'm kind of trying to decide whether I want it straight or not up there. I think that's good, and I also think I am going to use a pop dot on the end here to make this stay down. And I may regret that if I want to tuck something under there, but we'll see as we go along. That'll limit it somewhat. Okay, so now another thing I really like about Rebecca's take on it were these little strips of scraps at the bottom and the top. So I've got those, and they're distressed. I'm going to go with the gold paper. My two favorite papers in this collection are this multicolor honeycomb and this gold swirly kind of pattern. So I'm going to glue these down very close to the edge on the one side and kind of let it be there. Let's see, that's not straight. And for this, because it's kind of a grid and the only thing that isn't straight is the photo, and I kind of want that difference to show, I'm trying to make everything else straight, and that's not usually something I trouble myself with a lot. But I'm just, as I turn it around and the different parts of this paper get in the light, it makes me realize how much I really, really love that background pattern paper and how much I think I could use that on other projects. Okay, so in a minute we'll have the kind of the foundation done and we can start embellishing. All right, in my trusty bowl here I have some from a pink paisley again and again, excuse me, some enamels, and I kind of like this honey gold color, which reflects some of these others, so I may want to use those. Another thing I'm not sure that I will, I love this rose gold embossed bird on the vellum. Here's my ampersand, but I think I'm going to try to layer it on top of some floral. So I've got some word strips. This is because this was a Sunday morning, I thought use this word strip, and it says easy like Sunday morning, and I've layered it on a thin piece of foam so that it kind of stands up, and I'm thinking I might use it here, so I'll just kind of lay it there on spec. There's in one of the examples there's something like a label, and I thought maybe I'd try to layer that. I've put that on foam as well. I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. I'll put that off to the side. I've got this little thing that says smile. Actually, let me get these small pieces. Let's do the flowers, and I've got a little bit of journaling here. On this journaling, I actually printed it on my printer, and I was going to say on a random Sunday, or I was going to say one random Sunday. I don't know which. And I put on random Sunday. So I want to cover up that word on with a flower petal. So I'm going to actually lay this down here and have it overlap that, and then I'll try to figure out, well actually I will put a tiny bit of adhesive in the middle because I want to be able to tuck things under as well as lay things over. Okay, I kind of thought that this could go there, and that covers the random Sunday. So what I'm going to do here is put some foam. Let me get my bucket of foam here. I've got a whole bucket with a million different pieces of foam. I think this might work. What did I do with my scissors? There we are. Okay, I'll kind of put this under this part. What I want to do is layer it on so that it looks like that flower petal is hanging over the, this is silly, but so that it looks like it's an accident that's hanging over that, like it just fell there and did that. Okay, I've got some other, this full cluster, and I've got some little kind of half flowers here. Let me put this over on this side and get this more in view of the camera. Okay, I want a fairly nice cluster here. I've got a squared off edge where it came to the end of the paper, so I don't want that to show. I think I'll put that there, And how I'm gonna do that is support it with another piece of foam just on the outside part. So if I'm doing this, just this part right here. Okay. Have that foam on there. I'm just gonna kind of stick that there, and I'll have part of it overlapping, part underlapping, and that little squared off edge is hidden. I was thinking at some point that the bird could go somewhere here over the photo. Now, I'm just gonna kind of leave it there and see if it grows on me. My other florals, I thought maybe this one might look nice over here. Let me see. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'll adhere this flat and underlap that background square. And on this one, I think I may do that exact same thing. I can't find any particular reason that I need to put that up on foam. Okay, so I've got overlapping and underlapping going on there. I've just moved my bird, and I've got these other two floral pieces. I thought maybe one could go high and one could go low over by the photo. So I'll put this one flat on the background paper, and I'll put this one side of it flat over on the grid square. Let's see how that works. Let me pull my tweezers out and try to grab it here so that more of the flower shows, and then I'll kind of burnish the adhesive in there. Okay, so that's kind of where this stands now. I think I still like this where it was, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it on, and then we'll work on the ampersand. Oh, you know what? That's the wrong place. I think I prefer it down on the on top, and I'm making a mess, but fortunately the glue dries with a matte finish and clear, so the mess won't show. Okay, so I've got Easy Like Sunday Morning there, and it's kind of subtle because it's in this dark color and it's layered on top of that stripe, so I think that works nicely. The ampersand kind of could go here, and the bird maybe could go here, but that may be too much around that little journaling cluster. The bird could also go, the ampersand actually could go there, or we could use that, there's another half flower in my bowl here. I've got some other, the best of the best is one of the phrases that I pulled out, and I guess I could do something like this and do it at a bit of an angle, or do it straight, maybe straight like I was saying. That might actually be good, and I'll do a couple staples to hold it on. It's vellum, and that's a good way to adhere things. Let's see, can I use this somewhere? I'm still debating about that. I'm still debating about this this label. Would I want to attach this Live a Curious Life, which covers up all the white on there, and that might be good because there's not a lot of pure white in these patterns. Let me see if I like this. Okay, I've put another couple of staples there. I could possibly use something other than wet glue, and I've put the glue on it before I've actually really committed to using it. I kind of like it maybe here, kind of at this same angle as the photo. So Live a Curious Life sounds like something a grandma would feel for or would advise a grandchild. So I will leave that there. I've got this kind of rose gold heart, and before I go any farther, I'm going to put it on a fairly sizable pop dot. It's vellum, but it's covered with that beautiful rose gold foil, and I'm wanting to use it maybe in conjunction with this this flower over here, and let part of it overlap the photo. Okay, I like that. I'm thinking the pop dot might be a little thicker than I would want. I've got this that says it's in that same rose gold color, and it's in that same dark green as the ampersand. So maybe here, where it's partially hidden, but you get the benefit of the colors. So let me do that. It doesn't matter to me if you see that S or the word smile. It's got an additional, an added shape there, which kind of gives it some interest. Let's see. We've still got this partial flower, and I think I'll use it up there. So let me, some adhesive, and I'll let that kind of underlap that other flower group, and it adds some leaves. It makes that cluster larger. Okay, again with the bird here. How about the bird perching right there? And how do we get the bird there? I'm going to put part of the bird's branch that he's on is going to get hidden by this Okay, you can see the glue through there now, but you won't be able to later. And I'm still worried about this ampersand. How and where is that gonna go? I may let me see if I can do, I wish I had some black pop dots. Let me try this one pop dot here and see if that, okay, I kind of like that. So this gives me kind of a relatively empty square here and the same here, and I've got a lot of interest here and a lot of interest there. I have a word strip here, nothing there. So let me go look at my collection of enamels and sequins. I could do these. There are really only two round shapes there. And these other colors don't really fit in there. So I'm going to put that back in my collection. Let me try these little sequins that are kind of like stars. Let me get, I'd like to do, well, let me get the whole collection of sequins down here and I'll figure out what combination to use. I think the pinks are beautiful and would go on most of my layouts, but I really am not feeling a lot of pink in this layout. So I'm gonna kind of put some dots. This one is a nice gold color that goes beautifully with that honey gold. I don't see many or maybe any. Well, yeah, here's one more of those, and I'm gonna kind of spread these around. This one has a little more pink in it, and that's kind of okay. I'm gonna actually put this one on the honeycomb paper, and you can, it has enough pink in it that it kind of provides a nice contrast. This is a sequin with a rough edge, so I may put it, kind of tuck it under this flower so that you see a bit of shininess. Is that a word? A bit of shine. But you don't have to see the whole sequin. Now these that look like stars are what I was going for to begin with. They're very hard to grab hold of. So I'm gonna kind of do this one here. This is a nice mix that's part of this pink paisley collection, and I'm not really, I can't say that I'm familiar with the Again and Again collection, other than what I've gotten in the Mind the Scrap kit, and that's kind of what Mind the Scrap kits do for me, is introduce me to collections that I might want more of. Let me put this one somewhere over here. I want all three of the sequin types that I'm using in all three of my clusters, but I don't want them oriented exactly the same way. So the next sequin I'm going to put in is this kind of iridescent clear, and I think I'm going to put this one here on the honeycomb. It'll be just a bit of shine in the middle of that, flat paper, of course. Okay, and here I'll put this one kind of up here. And one more sequin, and I think we're finished, except for the title. And we'll see if I left myself enough room for the title. And in fact, I haven't really decided what the title will be. And there's a phrase, be unique, in this thicker set. I'm going to kind of sweep those off my glass mat onto my cutting mat so that I can store them later. I'll cover my glue, my Magic Nouveau adhesive, and let's look at what we might want to call this. I was thinking that because there's a lot of black in here, including the doodling around those squares, that I'd choose a black phrase. And the be unique is kind of cool. I guess I could put it at an angle like this. I could still use that. Or I could go with something simple like fun or memories, or, you know what? I think here's also a phrase that says laugh. That would be a good title. I'm still kind of stuck on that. Be unique. So let's try it, and these can come right back up. I could do the B. Maybe let's see how. All of it depends on how the unique part fits. And I could put B here and unique here. So let's just kind of try it in a couple places. I guess I could kind of see that actually would fit there. That may be what I'm gonna do. Okay. Okay. Here's the unique, and it has a circly dot on that I, and I've got my B down here, and that can go there nicely. Okay, and that leaves this open for anything else I might want to use. Let me see if there's a sticker or anything here. Maybe I would like to bring that, let's see, there's a heart here that I could overlap with another heart, a smaller heart. That's kind of, I like one without any detail. Let's go with this. Okay, that's my finishing touch. And I will also show you, I kind of, as for the scalloped part, I thought of using this, but it was kind of too perfect, and it had the circles instead of the honeycombs, and I preferred using this. I also thought about using this because it matched the paper that I cut the flowers out of. Decided against that. So I had lots and lots and lots and lots of choices to make on this, and I hope I made the right ones in your opinion. Hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you think. Scrappy Kathy out.